All right, let's dive into EON Reality's latest release, EON-XR 11.0. They're saying it's going to revolutionize learning with AI and XR.
Yeah, they're really pushing the boundaries this time.
We're working off their press release and marketing materials,
Yeah.
so, got to take it with a grain of salt.
Right, there's always some hype.
But even so, some of the features sound incredible. AI that can map your surroundings in real time and overlay instructions right on top of what you're seeing.
Yeah, and then there are these simulators they're talking about, like a whole suite of them for pretty much any type of learning you can think of.
And the ability to completely personalize your learning environment with just a few clicks, no coding required.
No coding, that's a big claim.
It is. We'll have to see how that actually works in practice. But first, let's break down some of the key features they're highlighting, starting with this AI Annotations feature. They're calling the underlying technology Spatial IQ. Imagine pointing your phone at something like a car engine or a circuit board, and it instantly recognizes all the parts, labels them, gives you information.
It's like having an X-ray vision, but for knowledge.
Exactly. But it's more than just recognition. This spatial IQ actually understands the spatial relationships between objects in an environment. So it can overlay instructions, guides, all sorts of things directly onto your real-world view using augmented reality.
They actually have a YouTube video showing this off. Pretty cool stuff. We'll link to that in the show notes.
Oh, definitely. I can already see how useful that would be for so many things. Like, think about a technician trying to repair a complicated piece of machinery.
Yeah, instead of flipping through pages of manuals, they could have the AI guide them every step of the way, right there in their field of view.
Highlighting parts, showing procedures in real time.
Exactly. They're really pushing this idea of making training more efficient and reducing errors, especially in fields like industrial maintenance or medical procedures.
Where those errors can have some serious consequences.
For sure. So they've got real-world learning covered, but then there's this whole other side, the virtual side.
Yeah, the EON knowledge simulators. And they've got 4 different types: procedural, exploratory, decision, and creative. Each one designed for different learning styles and goals. It's pretty ambitious.
It is very ambitious. But let's break them down one by one.
Yeah, let's start with procedural. What's the idea behind that one?
So the procedural simulator focuses on mastering step-by-step tasks. Things like operating machinery, assembling a product, performing a medical procedure.
So very specific skills, very hands-on stuff.
Exactly. And the idea is to let you practice these skills in a safe virtual environment.
Where you can make mistakes without any real-world consequences.
Right. You get interactive guidance, feedback, and you can repeat the steps as many times as you need until you nail it.
Oh, and they actually have a new YouTube video out showcasing the procedural simulator. We'll make sure to link that as well.
Definitely. Then there's the exploratory simulator. This one's all about sparking curiosity and encouraging self-directed learning.
Oh, so this is more about exploration and discovery.
Exactly. They immerse you in a detailed virtual environment, and instead of following instructions, you're free to explore and learn through interaction.
Okay, so instead of reading about ancient Rome in a textbook...
You could actually walk around the Forum, see the Colosseum, experience it firsthand.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, you could explore the human circulatory system from the inside, or even take a virtual trip to Mars. The possibilities are pretty much endless.
It sounds like they're trying to make learning an adventure.
Exactly. Make it more engaging, more memorable. And then you've got the decision simulator, which is all about developing critical thinking skills.
Okay, so how does this one work?
It presents you with realistic scenarios where you have to make decisions, and then you get to see the consequences play out.
So like choose your own adventure, but with real-world stakes.
In a way, yeah. You might be tasked with managing resources during a natural disaster, leading a team through a complex project, or navigating a tricky negotiation.
High-pressure situations.
Exactly, but without any real-world risks. It's like a flight simulator, but for real-life decision-making.
Interesting. Okay, so we've got simulators for hands-on skills, exploration, decision-making. What about the creative simulator? What's that all about?
Ah, the creative simulator. This is where they really let you unleash your inner artist, designer, inventor.
Okay, so it's about making stuff.
Exactly. They give you AI-powered design tools in a virtual space, and you can create whatever you can imagine. Design a building, prototype a product, create a piece of art, compose music.
Wow, that sounds like it could be pretty powerful.
It really could, and they're really emphasizing the ease of use.
But how easy can it be to create these XR experiences, especially if you don't have any coding experience?
Well, that's where EON Custom AI comes in. They're saying you can personalize your XR experiences without writing a single line of code.
Really? So how does that work?
They've got this feature called EON One-Click Creation and Edit. For example, you can generate personalized 360-degree backgrounds just by typing in a description.
Hold on. So I could just type in a futuristic cityscape at sunset, and it would create a 360-degree environment for my XR experience based on that.
That's the idea.
That's pretty impressive.
And there's a YouTube video showcasing this feature, which we'll link to. It's really quite something. You can also personalize existing 2D and 3D assets. Again, no 3D modeling experience required.
So you can really tailor these XR experiences to your specific needs.
Exactly. They even have another YouTube link showing how this works. It's all about making it as accessible as possible. And any modifications you make are automatically updated across the entire EON-XR ecosystem.
So educators, trainers, even individuals can create unique learning experiences without needing a computer science degree.
That's the goal.
That's pretty amazing.
It is. It really opens up a lot of possibilities.
It does. So they've really focused on accessibility and customization with this release. But they're also making some interesting improvements for users who are all about that fully immersive VR experience. You know, the ones using head-mounted displays, HMDs.
Right. They're really trying to make the experience feel more natural and intuitive. For example, they've increased the default movement speed within the virtual environments.
So no more feeling like you're moving through molasses.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Smoother exploration, more responsive controls. They've also refined the camera controls to make interactions feel more precise and intuitive.
It sounds like they're really paying attention to the user experience, which is crucial if they want this technology to really take off.
Absolutely.
All right, well, that's a great overview of some of the key features of EON-XR 11.0. But before we move on, I think we need to take a closer look at those EON knowledge simulators. They really seem like they could be a game changer for education and training.
Yeah, let's dive into those in more detail. Let's start with that procedural simulator. So the procedural simulator, it's all about breaking down these complex tasks into manageable steps, and then you can practice them in a safe environment.
Right, a virtual safety net.
Exactly. And, tasks where making a mistake in the real world could be really costly or even dangerous.
Yeah, like surgery or flying a plane.
Exactly. Those are great examples, and you can repeat those steps as many times as you need to get it right. Get feedback on your performance and build confidence before you ever have to do it in the real world. And
I can imagine that would be so helpful for people learning new skills.
Oh, absolutely. And EON Reality actually put out a new YouTube video showing off the simulator.
Oh, perfect.
So we'll be sure to include that link for everyone in the show notes.
Awesome. I always appreciate it when companies provide those visuals.
Definitely helps to understand it.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so what about the exploratory simulator? What makes that one different?
This is like a virtual playground for your curiosity.
Okay, I'll take that.
It really encourages self-directed learning by, immersing you in a really detailed virtual environment. And instead of following instructions, you have the freedom to explore and discover knowledge through interaction. So
it's less about like step-by-step instructions and more about just like diving in and figuring things out.
Exactly. And, imagine instead of reading about ancient Rome in a textbook, you could actually walk around the Forum.
Oh, wow.
See the Colosseum, experience it firsthand, or you could explore the human circulatory system from the inside.
That would be pretty amazing.
Yeah, or even take a trip to the surface of Mars, all from, the comfort of your own space.
So the possibilities are kind of endless.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's like turning learning into an adventure.
Exactly. And it really highlights that potential of XR to personalize the learning experience.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, speaking of different learning styles, let's talk about the decision simulator. This one seems like it's geared towards developing critical thinking skills.
You got it. It really challenges your decision-making abilities in a safe environment. You're presented with these realistic scenarios, and you have to, analyze information, weigh different options, and then make choices that have consequences.
So it's like a simulation, but for like real life situations.
Exactly. For example, you might be tasked with managing resources during a natural disaster or, leading a team through a complex project.
Or even like navigating a tricky business negotiation.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that. And you get to experience the pressure of making tough calls, but without any real-world risks.
Right, so it's like a flight simulator, but for decision-making.
Precisely. And then finally, we have the creative simulator, which sounds amazing for anyone who loves to design and create.
I'm excited to hear more about this one. This is where it seems like, the XR and EON-XR really shines like pushing those boundaries of what's possible in a learning environment.
It really does. The Creative Simulator provides users with AI-powered design tools and a virtual space to just experiment with their ideas. You could design a building prototype, a new product, create a piece of art, compose music,
Oh, man.
even choreograph a dance.
It's really like anything you can imagine.
It's all about empowering innovation and giving users the tools to bring their ideas to life.
Yeah, that's really cool. It's amazing to think about all the possibilities that these simulators offer. They seem to cover such a wide range of learning styles and needs, from, mastering specific skills to fostering creativity. It really does sound like EON Reality is trying to build like a comprehensive platform for XR learning.
They really are, and they're even making significant enhancements for users who prefer that fully immersive VR experience with HMDs.
Oh, right, like the head-mounted displays.
Exactly. They've increased the default movement speed within the environments for smoother exploration, refined the camera controls, and really focused on making the whole experience more natural and intuitive.
That's a crucial detail, I think, because nobody wants to feel like they're stuck in slow motion when they're trying to explore a virtual world.
Exactly. You want it to feel as real as possible.
So what other improvements have they made for HMD users?
A lot of it is focused on making the experience more intuitive, especially for tasks that require really precise movements, like in the procedural simulator. So, for example, if you're practicing a surgical technique, you need the virtual tools to respond really smoothly and accurately to your hand movements.
Right.
So it's really about eliminating any friction between the user and the technology.
It's that seamless integration between the real and the virtual worlds that makes XR so fascinating. It's like, stepping into another dimension where anything is possible.
It really is, and that's precisely what makes this technology so exciting for the future of learning. We're moving beyond traditional classrooms and textbooks and stepping into these interactive, immersive worlds where learning becomes an adventure.
I completely agree. It's like a paradigm shift in how we think about education and training. But before we get too carried away with the excitement, I think we need to address the elephant in the room.
And what's that?
Cost and accessibility. EON-XR 11.0 sounds incredible, but how much is it going to cost to implement, and will it be available to everyone?
Those are excellent questions. And unfortunately, the press release and the marketing materials that we have don't provide specific details on pricing or availability.
That's a really important point. For any technology to truly revolutionize learning, it needs to be accessible to everyone.
I agree. It can't just be a shiny new toy for those with the biggest budgets. We need to see how EON Reality plans to address these concerns and how they're going to make it affordable for schools and individuals.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we've still got some questions about the practicalities, but let's kind of shift gears for a moment, talk about the bigger picture. If XR learning does become more widespread, how do you think it will impact the skills that are most valuable in the job market?
That's a really interesting question to consider. As AI and XR continue to evolve, I think we're going to see a growing demand for skills that machines and AI can't easily replicate.
Yeah, like what kinds of skills?
Things like critical thinking, problem solving, creativity, adaptability, those uniquely human skills.
Right, because those are the skills that allow us to navigate a world where automation and AI are becoming more prevalent. And it seems like EON Reality is recognizing this shift by, emphasizing personalized learning and customization.
Yeah, they're giving people the tools to develop those essential skills in engaging and interactive ways. It's all about adapting to this, rapidly changing work landscape.
It's exciting to think about the possibilities, but it also raises some important questions about how we prepare ourselves and future generations for this new world of work.
For sure, we need to think critically about how we integrate these powerful technologies into our education and training systems, make sure that everyone has the opportunity to develop the skills they need to thrive in a future that's increasingly driven by AI and XR.
So it's not just about the technology itself, it's about how we use it to empower individuals and create a more equitable and inclusive future.
Exactly. Technology is a tool, and it's up to us to wield it responsibly and ethically.
Well said. All right, well, we've covered a lot of ground today, from the specific features of EON-XR 11.0 to the broader implications of AI and XR for the future of learning and work. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling pretty energized by the possibilities.
Me too. It's definitely an exciting time to be exploring the world of XR learning, and while there's still some questions to be answered about, cost and accessibility and implementation, the potential benefits are undeniable.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with a final thought. This isn't just about EON Reality or any one company. This is about a fundamental shift in how we approach learning and preparing ourselves for the future.
It's about embracing the power of technology to transform education, to enhance human capabilities, and to create a world where learning is accessible, engaging, and empowering for everyone.
Beautifully put. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into EON-XR 11.0. Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep your minds open to the incredible possibilities that lie ahead.